Hi everyone. So in this video, we will be talking about TCS interview experience and we will be talking about total three interview experience. One for TCS Ninja, one for TCS Digital and one for TCS Prime. Okay. First of all, I want to tell you guys that obviously I will be not showing you some easy interview experiences. The reason is simple because if I will be showing you the easy interview experience, you will be thinking that interviews are easy and you will not prepare in depth. Okay. Yes, this is true that sometimes the interviews are easy. Like you can say 50% of times. Also, it depends upon your shift. If your shift is morning shift, generally in the morning shift, the interviews are difficult. And in the evening and night shift, the interviews are simple because they want to wrap up the candidates fast. That's why the evening interviews are comparatively easy and short if you compare with the morning shift interviews. Okay, so it depends upon luck if your interview will be easy or not. Okay, obviously I will be not discussing the easy interviews because if your interview is easy then it's totally fine, but I will be discussing like some average level of interviews in this video. So let's start. Also make sure to like this video, and if you have your interview of TCS Ninja, Digital or Prime, any, you can watch the interview experience of all three profiles because definitely it will be helping you out. Okay, so it is not like if you have your TCS Ninja interview then you will be only watching TCS Ninja interview. You can watch Digital and Prime also. Okay, so before starting, first of all, I just want to give you an idea about the interview notes. Many TCS interview experience like this, you can see here a lot of interview experience we have already, have we already have, like you can see here there are more than 10-15 interview experience which are already listed by the candidates. So this sheet you will be getting in this course here in the candidate experience sheet. Okay, apart from this you will be getting interview notes, so you can purchase it, and all subject interview notes are available. Like there is a crash book, so crash book you will be getting here with all the notes: oops, programming, STL collection framework, HR question, DSA theory, project based questions, CS fundamental, SQL queries, computer science, coding sheet, pseudocode output, a lot of things you will be getting. Okay, so if you want to prepare for your interviews and you have less time, you can purchase the crack interview notes. The link will be in the description. Okay, a lot of things are available for your interview preparation. Also you will be getting the candidate interview experience sheet. Let's start now with all the interview experience. So first of all, this is the interview experience for TCS Ninja. Duration is 20 minutes. So the interview goes like, the first question is introduction. So a normal introduction. Okay, many candidates gets the introduction only. So this is the first normal question for any interview. So introduction. Question on oops, inheritance. Okay, so some question on oops they asked, like inheritance, the example, how will you implement inheritance, like this. Then they asked about abstract class. Okay, so abstract class question they asked. Then what is multi-threading in Java? So they asked about the multi-threading. What is DDL? DDL is basically data definition language. Data definition language. So they asked about the data definition language. It's a part of SQL only. So this is from SQL. Then explain 1NF versus 2NF. Okay. So they asked about 1NF versus 2NF. So this is normalization. So this also we have in SQL. So in the SQL, they asked explain the difference between 1NF and 2NF. They asked question on my project about database, how you connected backend. It should be backend. Okay. Why do you want to join? Normal discussion on hobbies and things. So if you will look closely, the interview was only theory interview. Okay. And in this, they started with the introduction. Then they asked some question from OOPS like inheritance, abstract class, multi-threading. Then they asked like two questions on SQL. One is DDL and one is 1NF versus 2NF. Then they asked about the project, and then normal discussion on hobbies. Why do you want to join and things. So I think it is a easy interview only. This was for TCS Ninja profile Kolkata location. Okay. So I think this is the easy interview only. Next interview, this is for TCS Digital. So this interview we got in our Telegram group. Okay, so let's discuss about this. So first question was introduction. Again, check my resume. How confident in problem solving? It is a TR plus MR interview. I just want to discuss. It's a TR plus MR. Okay. How confident in problem solving? So this they asked. Then explain DFS, explain BFS. They asked about DFS and BFS. Again, a standard question, very standard question. If you have done data structures and algorithms, it's a standard question. And they already asked about problem solving. So I am hoping they transferred the topic, or maybe the candidate will be having good experience in DSA. That's why they asked. Then the difference between BFS and DFS. So they asked the difference between BFS and DFS, your project details, how you tested your project, question about REST API, write a query for third highest salary, why do you want to join, why you used SQL in project, what is NoSQL, and some leadership question. So this was for TCS Digital. If you will look closely, it was little bit higher level if you compare it with Ninja. So if you will look closely, first they ask some DSA question like DFS, BFS, BFS versus DFS. Then project related questions they asked. Okay, and in your project details, they asked cross questions as well. It is not like the question was so simple. Please tell the details of your project. They asked the cross question. Okay, this one question will contain two to three sub questions. Your project details, why you use this tech stack, why you did not use other tech stack, what are the advantage of the tech stack, what are the challenges you faced in your project. So these kind of question included. How you tested your project. Okay, again, a important concept, important question, little bit difficult because many candidates don't know the proper answer of it. Question about REST API, SQL query for third highest salary, why do you want to join. Okay, so this kind of interview was there for TCS Digital. And this was the interview for TCS Prime. Again, this we got on our Telegram channel. First is introduction, explain your project. What is SVM? Okay, so SVM is basically support vector machine, and I am hoping the candidate made some project on SVM or something. That's why they asked about this. Okay, so introduction, explain your project. What is SVM? How you select support vector? Again, it's a little bit difficult question. KNN versus support vector machine comparison. Okay, what is classification? Compare bias and variance. What is outliers? Write a code to delete highest frequency node from linked lists. Okay, so it is something like, suppose it is 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. Okay, so something like that. Suppose this is the linked list. Okay, now highest frequency, if you can see here, it is for node 2. So 2 is coming 2 times, right? So highest frequency node is 2. So if you will delete this, it will look like 1, 3, 4. Okay, so this was the question. You need to delete the highest frequency node from the linked list. Then they asked about array versus linked list difference. Two SQL query. I don't know what was the SQL query. Then four situational questions they asked. Okay, four situational questions. So this was for TCS Prime. It was a around 30 minutes interview. Okay, so if you will look closely, the project questions were little bit difficult. Little difficult. Okay, DSA question again. I will say it's easy only, not too much difficult. And then two SQL query, I am not aware what are the SQL queries, and four situational based questions. Okay, so I hope these three experience I told you. Also, you can purchase the interview notes if you want to prepare. The link will be in the description. Interview experience sheet you can check out. Okay, there are a lot of interview experience available. You can go to the interview experience, they will help you a lot. Thank you so much for watching.